the recording again. So let me start the recording again. What we have to do is we need to create a ping pong game, and the ping pong game we are going to play with paddles and balls. So we need to have our characters in place first, and we need to identify how they are going to move. So first, let's set the background. Today we are going to work on very few things and try to design a background on ourselves. So today we are not going to choose a background from the options that we have. Like we have these all many options here. I'm sorry. As you can see that we have a lot of options here from which we can choose our, you can say, the background, but we are not going to choose any background from these options. What we are going what we are going to do is we are going to create our own backdrop, and that's going to be a very simple backdrop that you are going to make. All you need to do is all you need to do is just go to this backdrops option and start creating your own backdrop. The first thing that you need to do is draw a rectangle. Excuse me, everyone. The first thing that you need to do is draw this rectangle here like that. So after drawing this rectangle, what you need to do is draw the borders of this rectangle. Make sure that you draw different borders on left, right, and different borders on top and bottom. So let's say that our top and bottom border would look like this. So this is going to be our top border, and we need to change its color also. Let's say that we change it to this reddish sort of a color and change its outline so that it does not have any outline. This icon here would remove any outline, and similarly we can remove the outline for this purple box also. Now this is more like a picture that we want to make. Similarly, we can copy this and paste it. Copy and paste it and put it on the other side. And put it at the top like that. So now we have the top line and the bottom line. So these two lines are going to work as the edges. So whenever the ball hits these edges, it needs to go back. It needs to turn back. So that is what is going to happen. Even if we don't do this, we still are going to be able to make the ball bounce, but we'll discuss that later. So the next thing that we do is we draw a rectangle here on this side, and on this side we are going to make a rectangle to be black, let's say. And similarly you are going to again copy and paste it and put it on the other side. Now this somehow looks like your backdrop. You can change the backdrop color if you want also. Okay, who is making these doodles on my screen? So this is how your backdrop is going to look like. Now we will go to the code section and first introduce our sprites. The sprites or the characters that we need for this game. So from here we can add the sprites. Similarly, we can see the sprite if they are here available in the library. If we have any suitable sprite in the library, we can pick it up from here. We can pick it up from here if there is any suitable sprite for us. And if there aren't any, then we can create our own as well. So this is like a paddle sprite that we have. We can pick these sprites here up here and then use them. Let's say that I'm first using this paddle and I'm going to call it paddle 1. I'll go to its costumes and just make sure that it is rotated, tilted in this direction. It is rotated in 90 degrees like that. And maybe if we want to change the color of this paddle, we can always change the color of this paddle as well. Let's say that I want my color paddle to be blue. Every time you want to change the color of the paddle, you can always change the color of the paddle. Now see that the paddle color has changed a little. You can always make it more beautiful by adding some of the colors that you like. Like I have added. And similarly, you can create another paddle, name it as paddle 2, and pick it up and choose it on the other corner of your game. Maybe you can pick and choose it to be somewhere here. And this one, you can pick it up to be somewhere. So first thing that we have done is chosen our paddles. After choosing these paddles, what we need to do now is tell where these paddles would be when we start the game. So this is paddle 1. We need to make sure that we have selected the right paddle. We can change the paddle colors if we want as well. I will change the color of the other paddle so that it remains fixed. So let's say the other paddle color is different. Now let's say that the other paddle color is a little different. Now you have two different color paddles. The green color is not very much mixing it up very well, so we are going to change it to a little orange, maybe a little yellow. So now you have two different color paddles here that you can choose for your game. Now, what is the next thing that you need to do? You need to tell us a mechanism so that our paddle keeps on moving. So first thing that we need to do is use this controls option, events option, and tell what happens when this flag is clicked. So first thing that needs to happen is this character needs to reach this position. So whenever you will press the flag button, it's going to change its position wherever it was going to come back in the middle. And similarly, the same thing is going to happen for this as well. It needs to also needs to do the same thing. Whenever the flag is pressed, it needs to come back to its original position. Now we need to identify some rule with which our characters can move. So there are two ways that we can make our character move. First, we can allocate some buttons, and whenever you will press that button, your character would move. And other thing is that you can choose the mouse pointer thing. So your character can point in the mouse direction as well. So in this motions option, if we choose this point towards mouse pointer, let's see what happens. So let's say that we want to move this character. What we need to do is identify how it is going to move. I'm talking about this blue pedal first. I'm going to use W key to move it upwards and S key to move it downwards. So I'm going to use this one. When space key is pressed and instead of space, I'm going to use W. Whenever I will press the W key, I would want my character, I would want my maze, I would want my paddle to move upwards. In order to make it move upward, we need to use this change Y by 10. And similarly, I can duplicate it and paste it here and use this S button and use change Y by -10. Now what is going to happen is that when I press the W button, this character is going to move upwards, and when I press the S button, this character is going to move downwards. So the first task has been completed, that we are able to now move our paddles. The second pedal is going to be moved as well, and this is going to be moved using that up and down arrows. So we are going to use up arrow, and whenever we will press up arrow, we will want this sprite to change its value by 10. And similarly, when we will move this down arrow, we would want our character to have moved by -10. So this is it right now. What we have done is that we have made sure that our characters are now moving. So I press the flag button here and they move to their position. Now when I press the W button, the paddle moves upward. And when I press the down button, the right paddle moves downward. And now you can see